Good day. Today I'm going to talk about appreciation. And I had a set of things that I wanted to say, but then something came to me and it reminded me to not really push appreciation on people, because I understand when you're not in the mood, when you don't have love within your heart, it's hard to appreciate. It's really hard to say, okay, say thanks, say grace, say thanks. But the love is not there, and the feeling of gratitude is not there. So maybe there's a series of trying to love yourself that has to happen before the appreciation, or that you have to really experience it, and then that appreciation comes as a result of you really going through that experience and that understanding, and then the appreciation is natural versus it's something that we forced on ourselves. But I watched The Power yesterday, and it's a sequel to The Secret. I was curious. It was on YouTube, and there was something that was interesting that that it said that Einstein gave thanks to 100 things a day. And so it doesn't matter what you have if you can't appreciate what you have. So you can have an entire palace, you can have 1,000 minions, you can have everything you want, gazillion wives, but if you're not happy, then, if you're not satisfied and it never fills that void, then what's the point of having everything? It's just a disease. It's an addiction. So when I realized that, I wanted to find myself. I wanted to find what's inside me that is happy no matter what, but I still wanted to have everything I've always wanted, but just I felt that what I wanted wasn't it, that wasn't where I stop. And it wasn't the truth. It wasn't the truth that I could feel inside me. And it wasn't gratifying. It was like replaced something, and then you would need something else to replace it because you need something better, then you need something. It was an ongoing thing. So I guess I had asked for gratitude. I asked for gratitude, and now the world is showing me how I can be of gratitude. And I want to be of gratitude. I want to thank the air I breathe. And so I had a dream. Okay, so I want to share this dream with you, because this dream, I specifically remembered a lot of things in this dream. I woke up and I was like, whoa, and I asked myself, okay, so I asked myself a question, and then it gave me a straight answer, right away. So in this dream, I was with my friend. I came home, and it was a really nice home, and I came home, and my best friend from New York, she came, and she was visiting. I knew she was there. I knew she, her flight came in. I knew she was already at my home. And she was talking to another friend of a friend, but that friend was inside a room in my house. And she was talking, and I could hear them talking, and she heard me coming home, but she never came out to say hello to me. And I thought, that was not cool, right? And in my dream, and then later during dinner time, the friend of a friend cooked spaghetti, but with meatballs, and I'm a vegetarian, so I couldn't have it, so I had to make my own sauce, and I was like, And then it jumped to, I was in school. I was walking around in school, but then I was I was walking around in this kind of campus that I don't know what campus it is, but I was walking around as if I walked around on that campus all the time. And then I came upon this tree that had these benches around it, and then there was in a potted tree, a huge tree. And in the tree there was a nest, a huge nest. And in that nest there was these bat-like flying bird creatures. And somehow the nest got broken into by these cats, or they're like kind of cats, but they weren't like, they weren't things of this. They're not creatures of what we know, okay? But something had broken into their nest, and these bat-like birds were all over the ground, and some were getting eaten up, and some were like hiding underneath the big pot of the potted plant. It was inside underneath, and it was trying to avoid being eaten, and there was a bunch of these cat-like creatures that were trying to get at them. And so my instinctual reaction was I grabbed a bird from underneath, and I kept it I was trying to keep it within me, and then I grabbed another one, and they were big birds, even though they were like they're like baby birds. They were supposed to be still nest in their nest, right? And so their nest is humongous, and these birds, these baby bird like bats were like this big, okay, like this big. So I grabbed one, and then I tried to grab another one. I realized I had two big creatures, and I couldn't grab any more because they were so big. So then I said, okay, that's enough. I gotta go, and these cats were trying to get to them. And so I could only save two. And then it jumped to where I was like now a guy. And I wasn't even a good looking guy. I was like some not good looking person, okay? And some older man. And it showed that I was in this house. It was like this gorgeous multi-billion-dollar house, and I had everything I wanted, and I was having a party at my house. And I was coming home, and we were like, there was a bunch of people there. And then the doorbell rang, and it was the police or some kind of guards or security or police. And I said to my friend, I don't know if we're doing drugs or whatever, and this is my dream, but like I felt like they were coming after me. So I said to my friend, I said, listen, you take one bird, I'll take the other bird. Because apparently I had figured out these birds had magical powers, and they could evaporate if they wanted to, and they would take the vicinity of 2 blocks. And in that 2 block, they would be blessing. There would be like a sort of a blessing towards it, the 2 blocks. The vicinity of that area would be blessed if they would evaporate and they would disappear. And then they also had the power of flight, and they had all these like magical powers, these birds, or these bat-like birds. And they were my pets, I kept them. And then I said to my friend, you take one of my really good friend, another guy. I said, you take one bird, and I'll take this other one. And I said, it could fly. Just believe it. Just believe it. It will fly. You can fly with it, and we can leave. We can escape. So I left first, and I had my bird, and I grabbed onto my bird, and it started to lift me off, and I was flying. And my other friend, I guess he didn't have belief, or I don't know what happened, but he never left. He never could fly, and my bird was confiscated. Okay, the one that he had, that I gave to my friend. So then I was roaming around. So I escaped, and I was roaming around, and I came to this. It was inside the school again, some school, and there was this movie theater inside the school. And I thought, I can hide out there for a bit, and watch a movie at the same time, hide out. And I was just checking out the movies and what was playing. And then there was a guard there, and I thought, I got to keep my bird inside my jacket. But it was such a big bird, because it grew even more now, that, it's really hard to hide him. But I knew that if they saw the bird, they would confiscate my bird. So I was thinking, like, I can't get past the security guard. So I started turning away, and I started going away from the theater. And then as I turned, there was more security guards coming at me. And then one security guard saw my bird, or like a little peeping out. It was peeping out of my jacket and feathers or whatever. And he said, that is not your property. And he said that it needed me to give it back to him because that was the school's property. I found it on the school campus, and that was not mine. And he said that he would have to confiscate it for, you know. So he took it. And then I woke up. And right away I said to myself, why do I keep losing the things that I have? Like, I don't know why I had this question, but that was the initial question I had. Why do I keep losing the things I have? And instantly, Spirit told me that it's because I lost appreciation for it. So I thought, oh, okay. So, okay, I've heard that before, something similar, but I didn't think much of it. And then it wasn't until like a few days later that really sunk in, because I started to see how that's the case. In Peru, there's a bunch of dolphins last year that just had, I think they were doing, explosions happened in the ground. So it affected a lot of dolphins, and they were hemorrhaging in the ear because the little thin layer inside their ear broke. And so a lot of them started to not be able to navigate, and they started to come up for air, and then they died as a result of coming up really fast because they were now, disarrayed, after the explosion. So anyway, so creatures all around us started dying. And we could say that it's man-made. We could say that it's because humans are creating a really horrible environment for these animals, and they're dying. There are thousands of birds dying instantly, And we're looking for the culprit. We're looking for who did this. Who did this? And the answer that came from my heart was that we are, because we're not appreciating them anymore. We're not seeing them anymore. We're not... Gosh. Because we don't appreciate the wildlife. We don't appreciate the trees. We don't appreciate everything we've been given, And that's why. Not because of what other people are testing, or because, that's just what we see. We can blame. But we are in charge, We have stopped appreciating. And when we stop appreciating the things around us, it will disappear. It will leave. It will go. And part of what we do to them is because we don't appreciate them anymore. We see thousands of dolphins die, and, it's just another fish, a big mammal fish. And we don't see that they're miraculous beings. Our eyes have become dull, And we no longer see the miracles and all the beauty of life. And that's why we're losing them. That's why they're leaving us, because we don't love them anymore. So that is what my dream taught me. And I felt, when I woke up from that dream, I felt like there was some message there. And it was really profound. Like, the message was supposed to be really profound. And I knew it came from Spirit in a way. So I wanted to share that.